In today's world of consumerism, most people are unaware of the often dark and controversial histories behind some of their favorite brands. While these companies may seem like symbols of success, innovation, and prosperity, the truth is that many have built their empires on unethical practices, exploitative labor, environmental degradation, or even human rights violations. These companies, which are household names across the globe, have managed to craft an image of wholesome, trustworthy entities, often masking the controversial and sometimes nefarious history that helped them achieve their success. This article will delve into the dark histories of some of the world's most recognizable brands. From big tech to luxury fashion to everyday consumer goods, we will explore the often murky origins of these brands and their ethical implications. 1. Apple. The price of innovation. Apple is often praised for revolutionizing the tech industry with its iconic products such as the iPhone, iPad, and MacBook. The company is known for its sleek, user-friendly designs and innovative technology. However, Apple's success comes with a dark history of labor exploitation and environmental impact. Labor exploitation and sweatshops. Apple's relationship with its suppliers, especially in China, has been under scrutiny for years. Companies such as Foxconn, which manufactures Apple's products, have been accused of employing workers in deplorable conditions. Foxconn's factories are infamous for their long hours, low wages, and hazardous working conditions. Reports of worker suicides, harsh factory conditions, and the exploitation of underage laborers have haunted Apple's supply chain for over a decade. Despite efforts to improve conditions in recent years, Apple still faces criticism for not doing enough to protect the rights and well-being of workers in its global supply chain. While the company claims to be making strides in ensuring ethical labor practices, third-party reports continue to reveal ongoing human rights violations within its supplier factories. Environmental impact. Another area where Apple's image falls short is its environmental record. While Apple has made some strides in reducing its carbon footprint and using recyclable materials, the company's products are often criticized for their short lifespans. The practice of planned obsolescence, where products are designed to become obsolete after a certain period, leads to excessive e-waste. Additionally, Apple has been accused of exploiting natural resources in developing countries, where it sources materials like cobalt and lithium for its batteries. The mining of these materials often occurs in dangerous and environmentally damaging conditions, and human rights abuses are rampant in these industries. 2. Nike. Sweatshops, child labor, and exploitation. Nike, the world's largest supplier of athletic shoes and apparel, is one of the most successful brands globally. However, its history is riddled with allegations of labor abuse, sweatshops, and poor working conditions. The company, known for its iconic "Just You It" slogan and the swoosh logo, has been criticized for using low-wage labor in developing countries to produce its products at a profit. The sweatshop scandal. Nike's labor practices became a point of contention in the 1990s, with reports revealing that the company's products were being manufactured in sweatshops across Southeast Asia. Nike's factories, particularly in countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and China, were accused of exploiting workers through unsafe conditions, long hours, and low wages. The company faced widespread criticism after human rights organizations exposed Nike's use of child labor in some of its factories. Nike initially denied these claims, but was forced to address them in response to growing public pressure. The backlash led to protests, boycotts, and intense media scrutiny. Nike eventually implemented reforms, but the damage to its reputation persisted. Environmental concerns. Nike also has a history of environmental negligence. The company has been accused of wasteful manufacturing practices, including using toxic chemicals in the production of its products. Nike's factories have contributed to air and water pollution in several regions, leading to significant environmental harm. While Nike has made efforts to improve its environmental sustainability in recent years, Its past actions continue to haunt the brand. The company has faced accusations of greenwashing, where it presents itself as more environmentally friendly than it actually is, to placate environmentally conscious consumers. 3. Coca-Cola. The story of exploitation, health, and the environment. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognizable brands in the world, synonymous with refreshment and enjoyment. But the company's history is marred by allegations of exploitation, environmental destruction, and harmful health effects. For many, a cold Coca-Cola is an essential part of their daily routine, but the company's actions over the years have left a trail of controversy in its wake. Water scarcity and environmental destruction. Coca-Cola's operations in countries like India have led to severe environmental consequences. The company has been accused of depleting local water supplies, particularly in areas where water is already scarce. In some regions, Coca-Cola's bottling plants have been blamed for causing groundwater depletion, leading to water shortages for local communities. In addition, Coca-Cola has faced criticism for its plastic waste. As one of the largest producers of plastic bottles in the world, Coca-Cola is frequently listed among the top contributors to global plastic pollution. The company has been accused of not doing enough to mitigate the environmental damage caused by its packaging, despite pledging to reduce plastic use and promote recycling. Health concerns. Coca-Cola, along with its competitors in the soda industry, has faced backlash over the health effects of its products. The high sugar content in Coca-Cola drinks has been linked to a variety of health issues, including obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. The company has been accused of downplaying the health risks associated with sugary beverages, promoting its products despite mounting evidence of the harmful effects of excessive sugar consumption. Coca-Cola's lobbying efforts have also drawn criticism. The company has spent millions of dollars in attempts to influence policy on issues related to health and nutrition, often undermining scientific research on the dangers of sugary drinks. 4. The dark past of fashion brands. Slave labor, exploitation, and more. Fashion brands are often seen as symbols of luxury, style, and status. However, many of the world's leading fashion companies have built their empires on the backs of exploited workers, environmental damage, and unethical practices. Fast fashion giants, Zara, H&M, and the exploitation of workers. Brands like Zara, H&M, and Forever 21 have made fashion more affordable and accessible to the masses, but this comes at a significant ethical cost. These companies are often associated with the fast fashion industry, which is notorious for its reliance on cheap labor in developing countries. The fast fashion model encourages the production of clothing at an astonishing rate, resulting in poor working conditions in factories across the world. Workers in these factories are often paid below minimum wage and are subjected to unsafe and abusive conditions. Many of these workers are young women who have little power to protest against their exploitation, slave labor, and human trafficking. Certain luxury fashion brands have also been linked to modern-day slavery and human trafficking. In some cases, research has revealed that garment workers are forced to work in appalling conditions, with no pay and no way to escape. These brands have also been accused of turning a blind eye to the exploitation of workers in their supply chains. For example, some high-end brands have been exposed for sourcing materials like leather and exotic furs from suppliers who engage in practices of child labor, human trafficking, and environmental destruction. Although many of these companies have made efforts to improve their ethical standards, they continue to face criticism for their past associations with exploitative practices. 5. The legacy of pharmaceutical giants. Profits over people. Pharmaceutical companies are trusted with people's health and well-being, yet some of the biggest names in the industry have a long history of unethical behavior, from prioritizing profits over people to misrepresenting the effectiveness and safety of their products. The case of Purdue Pharma and the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma, the maker of OxyContin, played a significant role in the opioid epidemic that has claimed hundreds of thousands of lives in the United States. The company was accused of aggressively marketing the painkiller, downplaying its addictive properties, and pushing doctors to prescribe it even when it wasn't necessary. Despite the growing evidence of the drug's dangers, Purdue continued to profit from OxyContin, contributing to the devastating opioid crisis. Purdue eventually filed for bankruptcy in 2019, but the company's role in the crisis has left a lasting stain on the pharmaceutical industry. Conclusion: the dark side of success. While many of the brands mentioned above have worked to address some of the criticisms and controversies surrounding their operations, their dark histories continue to shape their public perceptions. As consumers become increasingly aware of the ethical implications of their purchases, there is growing pressure on companies to adopt more responsible business practices. However, the lessons from these dark histories are clear. Consumerism often comes at a price, and the brands we trust may not always be as ethical or transparent as we believe. The rise of ethical consumerism, sustainability movements, and corporate social responsibility initiatives shows that there is a demand for change. Consumers now have more power than ever before to hold companies accountable for their actions and demand better treatment of workers, the environment, and society as a whole. As we continue to support our favorite brands, it's crucial to be aware of the hidden costs behind the products we consume and make informed choices to encourage a more ethical, just, and sustainable future.